Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So, to start off our new year, we're gonna keep dragging up stuff from last year because I've, I've been busy. I've been busy. So, anyway, we're gonna bring a little bit of the last year, a little bit of the new year into this particular video because we're gonna talk about Star Wars. So, first, we're gonna talk about the Rise of Kylo Ren comic that came out last month, last year, but not last week, which would have been more interesting. And it pretty much tells the story of, well, attempting to tell the story of, as it says, the rise of Kylo Ren. And the first bit we get is a little announcement of the Knights of Ren. We see them, and this was sort of why I wanted to pick up this book. Not only because I really wanted to know how Ben's fall happened, and I feel that's sort of been a mistake with Star Wars now, and I think they sort of interpret that's how they should do it from the prequel trilogy. But anyway, we get a first glimpse of the Knights of Ren. There's this dude like, yeah, dude, I'm with the Knights of Ren. Yeah, see, I just do what I want, and I just serve the Ren. I'm like, what? Want to do everything for the Ren, and the Ren guides me. I'm like, so it's the Force. Ren is the group's name, so the Knights of the Force, technically. But we do what we want. We serve it, and we just do everything to appease it. We do what we want. I'm like, so you're dark side Force users? It's really weird. And then they're talking. The leader of this group, he approaches these two guys. As one of you guys has has it, has what we need, has what is needed to possibly join the Knights of Ren. And long story short, the first guy thinks he's talking to him, like, oh yeah, I've killed people, I do what I want, I'm a criminal, and like, okay, so what do I gotta do to join? Well, you gotta make a sacrifice. And he was like, my my brother, I gotta kill my brother. And before he can, his brother shoots him, and the Knight of Ren goes, "Oh, cool, but you're not who we want." And they kill him too, and it's like, yeah, whatever, whatever. So, poo poo, I would say poo poo on this. Then we skip ahead to what I think is a bit more interesting, which is the night at Luke's Jedi Temple. So you all know what happens. You saw Last Jedi. Um, Luke's up one night, says that he senses darkness in Kylo, and Ben Solo goes to visit him one night. Ben Solo's having a bad dream. Luke's like, oh, I should probably kill this kid. And Ben wakes up. He's like, what the hell is this? And the hut comes down, and Ben comes up, and he looks at the temple, and he gets really angry, and it boom boom on fire. And what's interesting about that is, if we go by that, it looks like it was just an accident. It's a horrible, horrible accident because, as it's mentioned, everyone in there is dead, presumably. And Ben's freaking out a bit, but he's also still pretty angry. He's sort of a mess of emotions of fear and anger. And he's hearing Snoke in his head, and then he's met by three Jedi. So this was actually really good. First of all, I was thinking, so there were nothing but students there. Luke has yet to train a successful Jedi, but turns out no, there are three. I would say their names matter, but I don't think they do. They probably will. One of them is a woman named Vo, of undetermined age, and they go down to the planet like, what's going on, what's going on? I don't sense Master Skywalker. And Vo brings up the point that when it comes to the Force sort of gravitates towards Luke. That's how they sort of sense him. Like, well, we can't sense him. Is he all right? Is he all right? And this is where it gets a bit stupid. First, they act like, oh, Ben, thank heavens, what happened? He goes like, Master Skywalker tried to kill me. They're like, that is the dumbest thing ever. Master Skywalker would never do that. See, it turns out these characters know Luke better than Ryan Johnson. He's like, no, he did. And it's one of them's like, okay, let's just talk this out. Let's be calm. Let's see if there are any survivors. No one really wants to check for survivors. No one. It's the weirdest thing ever. So then they just go through, and one thing leads to another. A fight breaks out, and Ben's pretty arrogant here. Like, you're not real Jedi. You're not stronger than me. But it's also important that I try to put myself in Ben Solo's shoes here. That, he's feeling hurt, scared, betrayed. If we talk about the darkness, which I think would also be his arrogance, that, he is stronger than most people. He knows it, which is pretty much the same fault that his grandfather Anakin had, that Anakin was special and he knew it. So, one thing leads to another. One of the Jedi gets injured, so he has to be taken to another ship, to the med bay. And Ben gets on another ship where he's going off to find Snoke. Well, he knows where Snoke is. The Jedi start to track him down. He engages light speed, but luckily the transport that Ben took also had an academy droid, so it gives off a constant signal, so they're able to track him. They like, so should we tell his mother? Should we tell his mother what? Oh, hey, your son murdered your dad, murdered your brother, and also blew up the school. Yeah, and we don't know what's going on. No, no, no. So they're like, we'll just find him, and then we'll sort that out later. What's the worst that could happen? Ben Solo later finds Snoke, and Snoke is really trying to look like the good guy here. He's sitting on appears to be just like a throne made of stone, surrounded by plant life and what. It reminds me of the place the planet Qui-Gon Jinn went to when he went on a little sabbatical in the Age of Republic Heroes. And he's pretty much looking himself like grandfather figure. He's very Palpatine, very very Palpatine here, sort of foreshadowing, or they knew. Anyway, he's like, so more than likely Luke's not dead, my boy. I'm just saying he's probably not. But what matters is, what do you want to do next? And Ben looks at Snoke and says, so what do you know about the Knights of Ren? And that's how the comic ends. So the rise of Kylo Ren starts off kind of rocky. I like the addition of the three Jedi. I like the idea they're going to be the pursuers. They're going to try to figure out what happened here. And the question is, how do the Knights of Ren tie into this overall story that is the sequel trilogy? Because there's a lot of things that the sequel trilogy does wrong. Things I will actually say, like, no, they dropped the ball on this. They truly messed up. And one of them was the Knights of Ren. I mean, they're talking about a big deal in promotions for The Force Awakens, and we know that they're supposed to be like, there's this one group that Ben Solo, or aka Kylo Ren, controls. They report directly to him. So why do they do next to nothing? They did next to nothing in the movie too. So what are they? Why do they matter? Do they have the Force? I don't remember them doing it or using it. It was just stupid. Just stupid. Next is Star Wars Issue 1. So Star Wars Issue 1 is, well, Issue 1. We have now entered post-Empire Strikes Back. And by post-Empire Strikes Back, I mean, we haven't gotten to the actual end of Empire Strikes Back, but we're at the point now where Luke has been rescued by Leia. He's got his hand in a cast, and he's kind of depressed. He's not feeling himself right now. Because, he got his hand cut off, found out his most hated enemy is his dad. His masters lied to him. He wasn't ready. He may have made things worse. Meanwhile, Leia and Chewie and Lando are sort of butting heads on exactly what to do. Chewie wants to go save Han. Lando says it's too late for that. Like, we can't track Boba Fett down. And on the plus side, they do know where he's going. They know he's going to Jabba's palace, so they can figure out a plan there. A lot of that story is Lando trying to earn the trust of everyone else there. And Lando, he's sort of treated as if, like, he's done this horrible thing. And while it was horrible, he was doing what he felt was best for the people of Cloud City. And now he's put that all in jeopardy. He's lost a lot of people too here, but they still don't quite trust him. The real meat of this for me is seeing Luke. Luke's mental state. He even sorts of draws on the dark side during a space battle when he's helping some rebel forces escape the Empire. And he's sort of wondering, like, okay, after all this, I don't think Yoda or Ben are going to want anything more to do with me. I don't think I'm going to get to be a Jedi. And with the knowledge that Vader is his father, he's wondering, if I'm not going to be a Jedi, what am I going to be? And he's afraid of that. He's afraid he'll be like Vader. Overall, this issue still doesn't address what I feel the Star Wars comic book should be addressing, which is post-Return of the Jedi stuff. But I did constantly harangue on the fact that, we still hadn't reached Empire Strikes Back. So apparently they heard that, didn't hear the rest of it. We see Poe Dameron's parents in this one. His mother is a great pilot. I don't really particularly care about that, but it's nice to see more sprinkles of the sequel trilogy being laid to bear here, and it's sort of understanding where Poe's coming from. That being in the rebellion, being in resistance, it's in his blood. He was raised in this world, sort of the same way that Leia was. So that's a fun way to establish that connection there. I wonder if we'll see Holdo. Maybe we'll make Holdo interesting. I still have a rewrite planned for the entire sequel trilogy, which involves Holdo. But anyway, overall, if I'm being honest, these are alright comics. The Rise of Kylo Ren still has a lot more to tell us, so I'm not going to harangue too much on that. It could pan itself out. It still won't be able to truly justify the treatment of the Knights of Ren, and Ben Solo's story, I think, is still going to need work, and what we know about Snoke makes him totally irrelevant. Although we could be wrong. The post-Empire Strikes Back comic seems decent. I love spending time in Luke's head. I think he's a great character. And we're also getting another Vader comic, which I will not be reading unless something interesting happens, which I doubt. Anyway, with that in mind, we'll bring this video to close here. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well.